Welcome to episode 734 of Apartment Hacker. This is Mike Bruin, and Apartment Hacker. It is my mission to tease out human potential in the multifamily space. So we're talking about meetings. The last couple of Apartment Hacker episodes have been about meetings and that meetings are necessary. The other episode, I think we talked about the end of the status update or death to the status update. The idea that status should really live somewhere in software. Or in email as opposed to in person with low ROI, relative to the salaries that might be sitting in a room to listen to the status updates. So the other thing I'd like to talk about as it relates to meetings is one-to-ones, literally the number one and the number two and the number one-to-one, which is really a numerical way of saying a one-on-one meeting. One thing that I think is important, well, two things I'd say are important. It's very important that you are having one-to-one meetings with those individuals in your downline, and sometimes it's necessary and prudent to do step-down meetings that are one-on-one in nature, meaning one level removed from your direct report relationships. I think you have to be careful there. That's a whole other subject, but important to have one-to-one meetings, but it's also important to make sure that in one-to-one meetings you don't get into politicking. You don't get into sharing speculations and frustrations about the way people act and behave in the workplace. I can tell you that I've been guilty of that myself over the years. I tried very hard to not get into those conversations, especially if you're a superior and the subordinate. And I kind of hate those words, but in that type of scenario, if your direct report starts complaining about somebody in and around the organization, they should be able to do that, but you should not be drawn into that and start sort of a politicking and or piling on conversation. You should simply listen, understand, notate, give guidance, and then if that particular information is worthy of taking action on, then you should do that, and explain to the person that you're having a one-on-one with that you may or may not follow up on that depending on the circumstance or the nature of the information that's being passed along to you, the nature of the complaints and things of that nature. So anyway, one-to-ones are important. But it's also important to make sure that the content doesn't spiral into something that is unproductive to you and the person you're talking with in the organization at large. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.